Mark, your Annie said she's alive.
This is obscene.
I just want to be sure.
Why did you do this? What is this all about?
Your character, Devin, is pretty level-headed compared to most of the other characters on the show. If she were to sign up for Severance, what do you think her reasoning would be?
I think her reasoning would be probably being completely exhausted from having a newborn who doesn't sleep through the night. You know, it's interesting that that was the storyline that was presented to her when she first met a severed person that wasn't her brother. When she meets Gabby, you know, that snowy day and realizes that she's severed just from her pregnancy. And I have never given birth myself, but I am a stepmom, and it is the most rewarding gift of my life. And there are also moments where I think I could forget those 5 minutes. I could forget those 5 minutes of losing my temper. But yeah, I think that would probably be her choice.
Definitely. I think that would be a lot of people's choices. I myself would agree. So one of the themes of the show is work-life balance. So how would you say you have work-life balance? We know director Ben Stiller doesn't like phones to be on set. So how do you get your work-life balance within the show?
I don't have one. I would be lying if I said I did. I think, you know, it's funny. And since we've come out of like the height of the pandemic and have been granted greater freedoms back in the world again, I think that that time altered my relationship with technology generally. It altered my relationship with my phone and my devices. I think because I was resigned to only communicating on those for so many years that I developed a bit of an aversion to them. I think the closest I come is trying to leave my phone at home when I go on walks or I get on the subway or I go to see friends. It's hard because I do have this sort of like time efficiency obsession that so many of us do, that if I miss one message, then it will go away and that opportunity will dissolve forever. So I'm trying to, you know, as I'm getting older and have my own family life, remember that the whole of my personhood is not contained in that phone. So I think for me, it's about devices.
Right, definitely. And you have to kind of remind yourself, wait, there was a world before cell phones. We didn't have this at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so without giving out any spoilers for season 2, who would you want to switch places within the show and why?
Ooh, just character-wise?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, good question. You know, I said this before and I'm going to say it again. I am so taken by Gwendolyn Christie generally, just the essence that is, the ethereal essence that is Gwendolyn Christie. And I'm also so impressed by the amazing things she did with that character that I would love to be in that room with those goats holding that little bell. I could never do it justice the way that she does, but I would say her.
Yeah, definitely. The goats kind of, I would love to know like the reasoning behind the goats.
You and me both, honey. Those goats are a vibe.
Yeah, just like why there would be no Severance without the goats, right?
True.
Okay. And then with this show, it does a great job with blending humor and suspense and drama with Annie and Audie, and it adds so many layers. What is it like playing your character, Devin, but then you're also with the other characters who are playing essentially two different people? How does that work for you?
It's a fun challenge. I think that, you know, Adam, for example, does such a beautiful job differentiating between his Annie and Audie that when I'm interacting with one or the other, it's impossible for me not to respond in kind because his Annie is a different person. He's more childlike, he's more innocent. I think he's seen less horrors in the world. And so it's inevitable that my body responds in a more maternal way towards Annie Mark. And, you know, I've spent 30 some odd years punching Audie Mark in the arm, and I know what his burps smell like. So there's more of a lived in dynamic there. So it's interesting to be looking in Adam's face and know it's the same body, but when he's Annie Mark, I don't know that person. So that's been fun. I also think that I had to sort of toe a careful tonal line in the show because Devin often shows up with levity and humor. And people love to use the word grounded about her, but I also think because moments of the show are themselves intentionally not grounded, they are heightened, they are sometimes satirical and intense. So I would have to try to calibrate, is deflecting with a joke here wrong for the tone of this moment, or is it appropriate for the character? So that was an interesting challenge to try to keep track of with Ben and Adam.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, and then final question. Without giving out any spoilers, those of us who haven't finished, with season 2 coming out, or season 2 finale dropping, how would you describe the finale in 3 words?
Oh my God. Okay. You know what? Someone asked me this earlier, and I'm going to try to do 3 different words. I'm going to say, daring, innovative, and terrifying.
Ooh, okay. That's exciting. All right, great. Well, thank you so much, Jen. I'm excited to be terrified, and I appreciate your time.
I'm going to put that on a t-shirt for you.
Yes, thank you. We'll exchange. I'll put it on a pillow.
Can't wait.
T-shirt. Perfect.
Nice to talk to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Take care.